Hello and welcome back to my channel. In this video today I will be showing you how I put together this amazing 30th birthday using the light up number. If you would like to learn, please stay tuned and let's learn together. Also in this video I will be sharing some tips and tricks to using dark colors outside. We've all had that outdoors event where we are really worried about the sun and the heat popping our balloons. So if you would like to know how to manage this, please stay tuned. Give this video a like. Please do comment any questions or any suggestions and I'll be sure to reply you. So first thing first, I start by preparing my balloons. I do this for most of my events. I blow up all of my 5-inch balloons depending on how much props I'm using for the event. If I have space in my car, I would definitely prepare by blowing up as much balloons as I possibly can, but usually the 5-inch ones, which tend to take more time than the larger ones. So that's what I'm doing right here, blowing up my 5-inch balloons, putting them in cords and tying them with the 260Q, which I will be using to fill up my organic balloon garland. The colors that I'll be using today are quite obvious. So I'm using Simple Black and a Chrome Silver from Qualatex. The black is from Sempertex, and none of today's color have been double stuffed or customized. So it's just plain black and some Chrome Silver from Qualatex. So the first tip to ensuring a long-lasting outdoor setup, especially for dark colors, is to ensure that you are not over-inflating your balloons. Over-inflating puts unnecessary pressure on your balloons, and when you're working outdoors, especially in the very hot weather, you want to make sure that you're not giving your balloon that chance to pop by either inflating them or tying them too tight. So for this setup, what I did was inflate my 12-inch balloons, the Sempertex Black 12-inch balloons, to about 8, 9 or 10 inch. 10 was maximum. So I didn't inflate them to the full maximum 12-inch. For the Chrome 11-inch, again, I tried as much as possible to under-inflate them and then leave some space around the neck area where I then tie together quite loosely. And then when making my quads or clusters of balloon, I also make sure that I am not putting too much strain on the balloons. I arrived to the venue safely and I've offloaded all of the props that I will be using today, including my balloons. And I just want to give a huge shout out to Kent Party Props Hire for this amazing number light. If you guys are based in the UK or you're based in Kent or London and you're wanting to hire a number light, please do check them out. They've got a massive collection of number lights and they would be willing to help you. Believe it or not, this is my very first time doing a Garland for a number light. So I mean it when I say let's learn together, because really this is just, making it up as I go. of you who have watched my previous video, you would have seen me say that I tend to not want to use fishing lines, fishing wires, whatever it's called. But for this particular setup, they came in really handy, and I kind of understand why you've actually got to have one of these fishing wires in your toolkit as a balloon artist. You need it. Particularly for this setup, it came in really useful, as I couldn't really use the usual hook that I use for all my setup. Obviously this is a number light and I didn't want to do any damage to a prop that isn't mine, so the fishing wires or fishing lines came in super useful. For those of you who are wanting to know the size of the fishing wires that I used for the setup, I used the 28-pound fishing wires. They're much thicker than the lesser pound ones, and they were slightly more easy to work with. They were easier to tie. I don't know if you can see how easy that was to tie, and how visible the strings are, but yes, I found them quite useful to use during this particular setup. So basically all I did was cut a massive string off my roll of fishing wires or fishing lines, and doubled it, and then tied it onto the number light to make an anchor point where my balloons will be holding onto. So basically that was all I did. I made one on the base, I made one on the top of the number 3, I think I made 2 on the 0 number light as well. So after doing that, I basically then attached all my other balloons using either the 260Q balloon or the fishing wire, depending on which area of the garland I'm working on will determine what material that I use. For example, in that corner, I still had to use fishing wire because I wanted the silver balloon to be quite secure on top of the number 3. The best thing about using fishing wires for this particular setup is the fact that they are almost invisible. So you're actually having something hold your balloon quite securely, but that thing is also invisible. Perfect for this kind of decor. For the top area, I actually anchored the balloon onto the fence because the vision that I had for the particular decor was for the balloon to be floating upwards. So I luckily had somewhere to anchor the balloon onto, and that was the fence. So I used my 260Q to tie that cluster of balloon onto the fence, and then used another 260Q to secure the black and silver balloons together. So I have created my base structure, and now it's all about filling the base structure in, adding more clusters of balloon to give it a bit more shape and a bit more dimension. And that is what I'm doing here. So I'm adding clusters of 2s or 4s using the 260Q or whatever leftover fishing wires that I see hanging around to tie additional clusters to the balloon. Tip number 2 when handling outdoor balloons is to ensure that whatever material you're using to tie or attach additional clusters of balloon to your garland, you're not tying them way too tight or putting too much pressure on the necks of the other balloons, as that is then likely to make them pop much quicker. I tied all of the balloons that I used in this setup quite loosely. I was very lucky that it wasn't a windy day, it was just hot but not windy, so I could get away with not tying my 260 or my fishing wires too tight to give my balloon a chance to last a bit longer. I decided to inflate my 18-inch black balloons at the venue because I obviously didn't have the space to put them in my car. So I inflated the 18-inch balloons, also under inflating them to about 16-inch, not too massive so they don't pop. And trust me, they lasted until the next morning. None of the balloon popped. So I wasn't actually going to do a balloon on the other side of the number light, but as I went on, I thought it would look better adding a balloon garland to the 0 part of the number light, and that was what led to me blowing up additional balloons at the venue. Technically, the balloons that I blew up from home was quite enough for the number 3 side of the number lights garland, but I just needed a bit more extra on the 0 part. So I am happy with the base structure, and now it's time to fill all area with the 5-inch balloons, and that is what I'm doing right here. I am using the prepared 5-inch clusters all around the balloon garland. I've used up all of my 5-inch balloons, and I'm quite happy with how the garland is looking so far. So what I do next is blow some cool air onto the balloons with my balloon pump. I do this by just moving the balloon pumps around. Not only am I blowing some cool air onto the balloons, I am also getting rid of any dust, any dirt that might have got onto the balloons, because this is, you can definitely see it's black balloons and they attract quite a lot of dirt very quickly, especially when used outdoors. So by doing this, I'm getting rid of as much dust and dirt as possible off the balloons. Here I'm just blowing up some large orbs balloon in silver, which I used partially around the balloon garland. I also used this to personalize the whole arrangement, because obviously there is no name sign or anything that I could paste the personalization onto. So I used this orbs balloon to create like a surface for the vinyl decal to go onto. I used a 260Q to tie the orbs balloon around the neck, and then tie the string of the 262 around the balloon garland that I've made. Here I'm just spraying the eye shine, which leads me to tip number 3. When doing outdoor decors, you'd need some sort of protective layer. First, to minimize the mattifying effect of the sun on your balloons, and this balloon shine, this eye shine, offers that kind of protection whilst also giving your balloon a very, very lovely glossy shine. I don't know if you can tell by just seeing the left hand side compared to the right hand side, where I haven't actually used any of this eye shine. You know, you can see that, you know, the right hand side is a bit dull looking compared to the right hand side. After a few minutes, the eye shine spreads and covers the whole balloon, giving it this luxurious glossiness. I mean, I wish my skin could look like this, but you know, it's what it is. So here is the final look, and I am loving the shine, I'm loving the glossiness. I don't know about you, but this is beautiful. If you are not yet subscribed to my channel, please kindly do so. Show me some love by liking and commenting on this video if you have learned 1 or 2 things. So I went back the next day and to pick up my props, and voila, the balloon is still standing. It's, you know, none of it has popped. It's still going quite strong, apart from some that are going matte or oxidizing. I did not notice any pop. So yes, please do like, share, comment, and see you in my next video.